Good morning, Kenya Diaspora Media. Good morning. My name is Esther from Leicester, and I'm welcoming you to this good morning session on behalf of Spices of Life on this Kenya Diaspora Media. Karibu sana mahali popote unaposikiliza. Jina langu ni Esther from Leicester. Karibu sana Alicia, Yesu kumponya. Karibu sana Lucy Nduta, karibu sana tunapoanza katika huu mpango wetu wa Good Morning KDM Family ukiletewa na Spices of Life. Thank you so much for joining me. Tell a friend and another friend, and we'll be able to move on with this program. Karibu sana mahali popote unapotegea. My name is Esther from Leicester, and yes, it's not a very new program. We've been streaming on YouTube, but I wanted us to be able to stream here on Facebook so that we can be able to meet up with you, our new friends, people who we haven't been talking to recently, as we also welcome our Kenya Diaspora Media CEO Jeremy Damaris singing on the background. Karibu sana. Ebu mnieleze kama mnanisikia. Let me know if you can be able to get my audio loud and clear. Otherwise, I could be talking to myself. So let me know where you're listening from and if you can get me loud and clear. Meanwhile, here is our own Jeremy Damaris entertaining us.
Shuke na wedo mukinya niru utumaga delire ye wikaraga denyi hetie kugothiga tamakeria wedo waku ni uhotaga ukareke gariga niro nebegoya wananyonia.
Karibu sana Lucy Nduta, karibu sana. You're saying you're tuned in. Karibu sana, and you're saying you're following. Karibu sana Pastor Gekonyo, you are from Langata and you are watching. Karibu sana Caroline Monyao, and you're saying you are in Stoke-on-Trent here in the UK. So karibu sana kwa kuungana nasi. Thank you so much for joining us, and you can share with a few friends so that we know that you can be able to hear me loud and clear, and so that we can also join in together in this Good Morning Kenya Diaspora Media Family. You and you and you are the family. Karibu sana. Alicia unasema you are listening from Germany na tunakusikia kabisa. Asante sana. Huyu hapa ni CEO.
Tigane we waigereire ukareke gariganiro nebegoya wananyonia inde muroyo ukareke gariganiro nebegoya wananyonia inde muroyo waliwa. Utule udathimite ndathimira nyumba yakwa wira wa moko makwa maundu makwa mothe ndukareke ngaconoka ndukareke ngariganirwo niwegoya wananyonia indi muoyo wariwa ndukareke ngariganirwo niwegoya wananyonia indi muoyo wariwa.
Kerie unasema uko ndani kabisa. Karibu sana, karibu sana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Alicia unasema Jeremy Damaris has very wonderful song. Niari nyibote gafio. Yes, it's true. And good morning, Ann Mumbi. You're saying good morning too. And Caroline Munyao, you're saying, oh yes, blessings in every way. Karibu sana, Caroline Munyao. As our CEO is welcoming us in this good, beautiful song here, Dukareke Gariganirwo Ona Hanini. Dukanareke Gariganirwo Ona Hanini Niwega uria wananyonia. So karibu sana, and as you join in, let me know where you're joining in from, and we can be able to join in together and welcome you and I and the other one and another person. Karibu sana.
Kuria nyumite gutiro kia hotire kuruta ngoro eno yakwa hata kaine ya mathina tiganiwe waigirire ukareke ngaiganiro ndehoya wananyonia inde muroyo ukareke ngaiganiro ndehoya wananyonia inde muroyo waliwa.
Karibu sana Ngego Wangego, you're tuned in from Qatar. Karibu sana Lilian Wango unasema good morning to, you are saying good morning to. So from wherever you're tuned in, tell your friends so that we can be able to join in on this Kenya Diaspora Media. And today I have a very good topic. I've been tuning in on YouTube, but today I said I'll be coming here on Facebook so that I can say hi to you and we be able to discuss a few things. And let me know your favorite language. Is it English or Swahili? Is it English or Swahili? Is it English or Swahili na Kikuyu kidogo? Kenya Diaspora moto kabisa. Hapo ni CEO wa Kenya Diaspora Media, jina lake ni Jeremy Damaris na jina langu ni Esther Nduta, nikikutegea hapa hivi kutoka Leicester, United Kingdom, nikitarajia unanisikia maridadi kabisa mahali popote ulipo. Karibu sana mahali popote unapotegea kutoka. Yes, leo ni good morning Kenya Diaspora Media Family, na nimekuwa nikiongea kuhusu mijadala tofauti. Moja wapo ya hiyo mijadala ilikuwa this is a new day, this is a new blank, not necessarily 100% blank, kwa sababu God has put some promises upon your life. So it's a page that has blank spaces. It's a page that has blank spaces. Today is a present for you. Today is a present for you. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow we are not so sure about. Recently I've lost a few friends and they have said goodbye to this life. Now, for me, before I say goodbye to this life one day, I need to be able to know the promises of God in my life and those promises of God to be fulfilled. So it's a blank page as blank spaces rather than a totally blank page. In this blank page, it says, I am dash, yes, of God, yes, and you can be able to be filling in those blanks. So from wherever you're tuning in, let me know so that we can be able to work together this particular morning, and we can be able to also, yes, join in together as we say good morning to this beautiful day, this wonderful day. And behind the scenes, when you see me looking at this side here, is our CEO who is entertaining us today. So as we continue, you will be hearing him entertaining you on the background there as I say good morning. So one of the things I'm saying this morning, it's a blank dashed rather than a blank page. I don't want to say it's a blank page. It's a day that is full of promises. It's a day that is full of many things that need to be done. It's a day that is full of many blessings that need to be claimed. So your job is to fill in the blank. For example, I am a child of God and I am blessed of the God. Yes, I am filled with the joy of the Lord because my God is faithful. So let's fill up that page with the words of promises from God so that they are fulfilled in our lives. Meanwhile, huyu hapa Jeremy Damaris akituimbia, akitutumbuiza kwa nyimbo maridadi maridadi. Before I forget, karibu sana na Mama Angel Hodari and karibu sana Leonard Thiongo, unatusikiliza kutoka Nairobi. Mama Angel anatusikiliza kutoka Doha. You're listening from Doha, Qatar, and then Leonard, you're tuned in from Nairobi. Karibu sana. got an encouraging word from our own CEO, Jeremy Damaris. Karibu sana. Welcome. From wherever you're tuned in, karibu sana. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. And I've asked a question. Which language would you rather me use? Would you rather I use Swahili or would you rather I use English? I would like to know. I would really like to know. Would you prefer me to play music more or would you prefer me to talk more? Yes, so karibuni sana. As you join in, karibu sana, because this is Good Morning Kenya Diaspora Media. This program is not Esther from Leicester's. It is my program, your program. So I would like you to be able to tell me what you would prefer because it will help both of us. Before we continue, I am doing this because of love. I love you and I know God cares about you and I know Kenya Diaspora Media cares about you. Spices of Life cares about you. Love has no boundaries, has no rules. So I'm going to play one other song while you respond to my question about what language would you prefer me to be talking, and are you hearing me loud and clear? And where are you tuned in from? Karibu sana. As that song continues to download here, my name is Esther from Leicester, and today I'm bringing about 3 things that I want to speak to you. One of the things I've said, remember, today is a new day, and that day has dashes. You know, there's some sentences that God has put there as promises, and it's yours to claim. Have you done that? Have you done that? Have you done that? Have you done that? And Shiro Moiro says, I prefer English. She prefers English. So I'm going to keep it English for now. For you, Shiro Moiro, until anyone anapinga yo. If anyone comes against that, then I can be able to change. So thank you so much, Shiro Moiro, for telling me you prefer English. So today, I want to speak about 3 things as we continue. And again, before I continue, would you rather I play music in between or I continually talk? Would you prefer a continuous talk? Or would you prefer music in between like this? This is what I mean. Okay, that song is still downloading, and once it's downloaded, it will be flowing much smoother. Otherwise, for the time being, like I'm saying, I have 3 things that I would be liking to talk to you about. One of the things that I've been speaking about on YouTube is, we need to be able to rejoice and be glad in the day in ourselves. I don't know how you go about rejoicing and being glad in the day. I know circumstances are different for each one of us. I know we all are going through situations. Some of them we may not be able to change. But how can we be going through rejoicing and being glad in each of the day? It's by counting your blessings. One of the things you can do is by counting your blessings. If you count your blessings one by one, then you'll be able to know that for sure you can be glad and you can rejoice because there is that blessing of each day. So yes, I wanted to speak about 3 main things. One of them, remember, today is a brand new day. It's a brand new day. When it's a brand new day, there are many promises of God upon your life. How can you claim those promises of God upon your life? It's by filling in the blanks. Okay, number 2, let us rejoice and be glad. Why? Because regardless of the circumstances that are going through our lives or we are going through in life, there are so many things. We can count our blessings. There are so many things that we can be able to fill in the blanks with, page number 1, page number 2, we are going to rejoice and be glad. And then the 3rd thing I'll be talking about, how can we stop overthinking? How can we stop overthinking? And when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well. So, karibu sana, just karibisha wageni. Make sure you welcome a few people to come in and join them and tell them Esther has started a new program on Good Morning Kenya Diaspora Media. And hopefully by God's grace, we will be doing this in the mornings between 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. UK time, and that will be about, I think, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Kenyan time, and I believe it's about 5 a.m. in the US, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I believe in the US. And for wherever people are tuning in from Qatar and the other regions, you can tell me what time it is in your region. Otherwise, I hope my video has been downloaded now and you can be able to play this. And I'm asking, would you prefer I continually talk or I play music in between? You will be my teachers, because I'm here for you, and because I am doing this out of love for you. I'm doing this because I want to pour my heart and add value to you. So in the way we add value, like I said, I have a number of topics that I want us to be discussing, but today the first thing I wanted you to remember is this is a blank. I'm tempted to say a blank page. It's not a blank page. It's a new page. It's a new page. Esther, it's a new page. It's a new page, Shiro. It's a new page, Lillian. It's a new page, Leonard. It's a new page, Mama Angel. It's a new page, Ngego Wangego. It's a new page, Caroline. It's a new page, Anne. It's a new page, Alicia. It's a new page, Marianne. It's a new page. It's a new page. Gekonyo, Pastor Gekonyo. It's a new page, Lucy Nduta. And if it's a new page, it has some writings on it. And these writings, I didn't write them. God wrote them, because God knows the purpose that is upon your life. And out of this purpose, the promises that God has given you, you can be able to fill in the blanks and claim some of those promises or all of those promises. If you know what God has promised you, then you can claim that promise upon your life. And you don't just claim and sit down, you need to act upon that promise. You know, even Abraham and Isaac, when they were promised a son, I think they went and did the job that necessitates a pregnancy. So there is something where you go and make sure that the point of contact is there for you to be able to accomplish that goal that there is. So if it's a shamba that God has given you and you need to be able to have a harvest, that is a field, then you need to be able to go and plant the seeds in that field. And I'm not talking about the seeds that people plant in ministries or in churches and all that. I need to say this clearly, loud and clear. It's the practical ways of life. So if God has given you a shamba, the book of Proverbs says, don't slumber. Wake up and go and plant the seeds. Be ready, prepare the field and wait for the rains. And then that blessing comes that way. And then we need to be able to fill in our blanks so that we can be able to be fulfilled, or rather the promises that are upon our lives are fulfilled because we are there doing something. So Shiro Moiro says it's about 11:30 a.m. in Nairobi, yes, and it is about 9:30 in the UK where I am. And thank you so much for letting me know that time. So like I was asking, would you prefer I continually talk or I bring in songs like this? Karibu sana mahali unapotegea. Karibu sana. Let's play some more of our CEO's music. Where don't you guys? The message is clear. We do these things that we do out of love, and that's why I want to be able to do this program out of love. But I cannot do it without you, so you need to be able to speak to me as we practice this. One of the things I was reading this morning is about people seeking the will of God upon their lives. Do you know the will of God upon your life? And one of the wills of God upon your life is the commands that He gives us. Love one another. And that's what that song was saying, that love is paramount. Love is supreme. Love is what we are commanded. To love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and everything that we are, and to love one another. Do you love me? Do you love me? Let me know whether you love me. And if you do love me, stay tuned with me so that we can be able to share some more information together. So I said, yeah, the blank. page, or rather the new page. And then after the new page, I did say we need to be able to rejoice and be glad. And there are many ways we can rejoice and be glad. And number 3, I was talking about overthinking. That's the topic I started yesterday. Because I had done it on YouTube, I will be able to do it again here for us on Facebook. So let me get the notes up, and hopefully I can find them very quickly where I saved them. And therefore we can be able to study them together and be able to know why we shouldn't overthink and why we shouldn't do things that are normally taxing our minds and all that. We need to be able to find ways in which we can stop this overthinking, particularly, for example, the will of God. Yeah, when the will of God is there, we are told, just do it, don't wait for someone else to prompt you to love. You know the commandments of God, and therefore it's just doing it. So what I'm gonna do is play this song a little bit more, Wedonegai, because that's one of the wills of God, and then we will continue. Maridadi kabisa. I think I found the notes where I had saved them. So we will be starting on the key points of today. In as much as I'm saying this is a new day, yes, and this is a day that we need to be glad and rejoicing, being thankful. Then the other thing I want to talk at depth today, something I started on YouTube yesterday, is on how to stop overthinking. Most of us are overthinking. They are overthinking this life. I don't know. I do overthink sometimes, and I need to be able to stop overthinking. So number 1 thing you should do if you're taking notes is put it into the wider perspective. That thing that you're thinking about, that thing that you're overthinking about, put it into a perspective. What do I mean by this? Ask yourself, will this thing matter in 5 years' time? Will this thing matter in 5 months' time? Will it matter in 5 days' time? Will it matter in 5 hours' time? Or will it matter in 5 minutes' time? If it's within 5 minutes' time, then you will have thought about it and done and dusted with it, because that will bring us to the second point. Yes, if this is a question, if this is something that you're thinking about, overthinking about, just try to ask yourself those questions. And it's a simple question that can help you to stop overthinking and to focus on what really matters. If it's something that is way far ahead of us, yes, we cannot live in the future. If it's something that happened long time ago in the past, you don't need to think about it. Why? Because you can let go. If it's something, for example, I was using the example of unforgiveness, something you're holding on to, you don't want to let go, such as unforgiveness, let it go. If you need to go back there, not necessarily go back, because we cannot go back. If you can find a way of letting the person know that you've forgiven them, or rather let God know that you have forgiven them and you mean it here in the heart. One of the things I normally say, the heart is the kitchen of our lives, and the mind as well is the kitchen of our lives. So as we leave these things uncleaned, in the past, on YouTube, you can look for some of my videos on Kenya Diaspora Media. You will see me doing some practical tasks in the kitchen. One of the tasks I was doing is washing my dishes. And I was also talking to a friend of ours from Kenya Diaspora Media about the olden times in the past when I was supposed to clean up the kitchen, but it's a job that I didn't like. But the chickens and the sheep used to sleep in the kitchen, and it was messy in the morning. But without cleaning that mess, you are not able to have a smooth day, because you may end up stepping on the poo, chicken poo, or you may end up stepping on the sheep poo, or you may end up just having the dirt go into your food. So we needed to thoroughly clean the kitchen before we started our cooking processes. And we needed to make sure also the dishes are thoroughly cleaned, particularly the ones you left in the kitchen, because you would never know what happened in the night when the chickens were jumping up and down and the sheep also were jumping up and down. Anyway, what am I talking about? The mind and the heart is our kitchen of life. For me, I wash the dishes, I clean up the kitchen mostly in the mornings. But for some people, before they go to sleep, they clean up their kitchen. What am I trying to say in a nutshell? I am saying that it's important that we let go of the things that are in our minds, particularly by the time you go to sleep. I sleep very well, so that's not a problem for me sleeping. So I can sleep anyway. So what I'm trying to say is we can let go the things that are overhanging in our heads so that we don't overthink about them. And the best way to do that is to make sure we clean the minds in the same way we clean the pots, in the same way we clean the spaces that we live in. I don't know about you, maybe it's me who overthinks. I don't know whether you do overthink, but I do sometimes. And the topic like I'm bringing in today for us is to be able to stop overthinking. So put that thing in the perspective, the one that you're thinking about. Does it matter? Will it matter in 5 years, in 5 months, in 5 weeks, in 5 days, in 5 minutes? Will it really matter? If it doesn't matter, then drop it, and just focus your senses and focus your time in the things that matter at this particular moment. So thank you so much for those who are joining me, and we are looking at how we can stop overthinking. And I'm talking to you and I'm talking to myself. So that's point number 1. Put everything in the wider perspective. Will it matter? Does it matter? Have you cleaned your mind? Have you cleaned your heart? When you do that, then you can be able to move on without overloading your mind with so much stuff. Number 2, make a short deadline for decisions. By the way, I am using these notes. A friend of mine allowed me to use them, and we have a confidence page where we talk about these things, and she allowed me to use them. Her name is Marie. She has also been on Kenya Diaspora Media in the past. So number 2, I'm talking about point number 2 of how to stop overthinking. Make short deadlines for decisions. Make short deadlines for decisions. What do I mean by this? 30 seconds is enough for me to know whether I want to wash the dishes or not, to decide whether I will wash them or not. Remember, decision, then action. So 30 seconds is some minutes, or less than a minute. So it's half a minute. It's enough for me to decide whether I want to do something or I don't want to do something. A minute may be extended. So if it takes me longer than 30 seconds, then I think I've started overthinking. So I need to be able to decide something like that. For washing the dishes, for letting go something off my mind can take longer, because, our minds are very fluid. They are not like the dishes. They are not like the physical world. And that's why I normally talk about spices of life, because I talk about the spiritual aspects of our life. That's what S stands for, and P stands for the physical aspects of our lives, and I stands for the intellect, and then C stands on the channels of communication, for example, money, love, and all those. Yes, the currency that we use to live this life. And then E stands for our emotions, and S stands for social relations. I know I'm talking about a lot of things at this particular moment, but today I wanted to focus on stop overthinking and how we can stop overthinking. So I've already spoken about point number 1, which I've said, put everything in the wider perspective. And I'm looking at point number 2 now, where I'm saying 30 seconds is enough for you to decide whether, in the physical sense of life, right? You can be cleaning your kitchen, you can be washing that dish, you can be eating that meal or not eating that meal. It's enough to make that quick decision. But for the longer aspects of our lives, particularly the spiritual one, when you're holding on to something like unforgiveness, then it might take a little bit longer. For larger decisions that would take normally you days or weeks to think through, use a deadline of 30 minutes. Yes, try to use a deadline of 30 minutes. If you really have to overthink or think through something, give yourself 30 minutes. Why would you hold unforgiveness till next day anyway? My Bible tells me, which I call the good book, that I shouldn't even hold on to any grudges or any unforgiveness in my heart, because if I don't forgive, I'm not forgiven. And of course, it's me who is carrying that burden, not the other person. So when I carry unforgiveness, it's affecting me worse than it's affecting the other person. So it's good to let go. Now, I would like you to tell me whether you would like me to talk continuously, or would you rather I put music in between, because this program is for you, not necessarily just for me. So yes, I would like you to be able to tell me, would you like me to talk continuously, or would you rather I put the music in between for breaks in between, so that I can give you an opportunity for you to be able to talk to me as well and chat with me. I'm looking at Kenya Diaspora Media because I want to be able to also follow the comments that you're putting there as you join in with me. Karibu sana. Thank you so much for those who are joining me. You are very welcome from wherever you're tuning in. I'm looking at here because I want to be able to know if there's some comments coming through or some questions coming through, so that I can be able to respond to them. I'm not doing this thing on my own. I am doing this thing with you because you're the Kenya Diaspora Media family. Karibu sana, Kenya Diaspora Media. So for those who are tuning in, you let me know. I will continue talking until you tell me, Esther, maybe put some music on, so that it can also be mchanganyiko maalum, a little bit of entertaining. Isiwe tu ni kuongea. Do you overthink, or is it only Esther who overthinks things? Do you overthink, or is it me just who overthinks? I'm going to put a little bit of music here. There we go. Yeah, do you overthink? Let's rewind that because it's a beautiful song. Let's rewind thing. If it's gonna the outlook of the way the numbers disappear when the music comes in between, I think I will continue talking. Okay, I will continue talking because I can see the numbers go down when I put the music on. So we were on point number 1 and number 2. And what did I say? The program today is talking on about how to stop overthinking. And when I say overthinking, it's because you and I, most of us, sometimes overthink. Maybe it's just me who overthinks, I don't know. Anyway, let me continue. So I said point number 1, put the issue into perspective. Put the issue into perspective. The program is Good Morning Kenya Diaspora Family, and the person who is bringing in this program to you, my name is Esther from Leicester, and I am doing this on behalf of Spices of Life. I have other programs which are under the umbrella of Spices of Life. Like I've mentioned, Spices stands for spiritual, physical, intellectual, commercial or communication or currency, and then emotion and social or parts of life. That's why I talk about these issues, because I want us to be able to grow. And people do overthink and they are overthinking. But I want us to be able to balance in life, not to overthink. It's okay to think to an extent, but do not overthink. So point number 1, I had said, put everything into a wider perspective. Does it matter in 5 years, 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 days? Does it really matter? Please, if it doesn't matter, focus on the things that matter and put your energy on the things that matter right now. Yes, something that actually matters and something that will transform your life in a way. Then I said number 2 is make short deadlines for our decisions. Yeah, 30 seconds is enough for you to go and decide whether you want to sweep your kitchen, clean your pots, make your bed or not, right? But for longer decisions, for example, the unforgiveness that you're holding or loving someone, maybe you can give yourself 30 minutes. I have known people to say, particularly when there are proposals of marriage, people can say, I'm going to think about it. It's going to take me a month. Okay, of course, if you love someone, you would know very quickly whether it's love at first sight or it will take you months for you to go and decide whether you actually love them. Okay, so that is point number 2, right? Make short deadlines for the decisions. Don't let it take too long. Number 3, stop setting your day up for failure. People wake up in the morning and they say things against the day, against their lives, against their children. They can say, oh, I'm rubbish at this, or this day is going to be a bad day because it's raining or it's cold. Yeah, they can be saying things that are setting the day for negativity. What can I say? And what is Marie saying on this document? Set a good tone for the day. Set a good tone for the day. For example, read something that is uplifting. I do. So that's one particular thing I do. Read something or listen to something that is uplifting. Yes, that is at breakfast. So your breakfast can be part of listening to something that is uplifting, that is encouraging you. Okay, don't skip breakfast. They say don't skip unless you're fasting. So don't skip breakfast unless you are fasting. And then try a bit of exercise. There are days I go for a walk and it's very refreshing to see the sun rise in the morning while you're out there just welcoming the new day. Yes, do a bit of exercise. Today I've been dancing to the music that I've been playing, which is very good. So I trust it can help to do a bit of exercise. And then get started with the most important task of the day. Get started with the most important task of the day. This is still part of point number 3. Point number 3, stop setting your day up for failure. So these are some of the points under that topic. Do something that is uplifting. Do something that is uplifting. Okay. Don't skip breakfast unless you are fasting. Do a bit of exercise. Okay. And then accomplish, or rather do the tasks that matter first. Matter the most first. So it's important to get started with the things that matter the most. So if you think like praying is an activity that matters to you the most, do it before you set yourself to the day. If you think cleaning up your real kitchen, the actual kitchen, like I do, yes, clearing that clutter in the kitchen and clearing this clutter in the mind, if it's there's something that matters most for you, do it first as a priority. Now, one of the things I've heard and I used to think we can do, particularly we women, is multitasking. I say, we are good at multitasking. I can do A, I can do B, I can be looking after the baby while I'm cooking or I'm doing this. Yesterday I tried to multitask and I'm telling you my dinner almost got burnt because I was doing one thing and then I was doing another thing, and then whatever dinner that I had left in the oven, it almost burnt. If it wasn't for the smell and my husband knowing that something is in the oven, that could have been charcoal. So let's try not to multitask. Let's focus on the thing that we are doing at that particular time. Give attention to that child that you're talking to. Give attention to that wife or husband that you're talking to. Give attention to that cleaning of the dishes that you're doing. Yes. And part of stopping overthinking is like, don't overthink while you're doing other tasks, because you may not pay attention to what you're doing and then that activity doesn't become enjoyable. So focus, stay focused. Do not multitask. Pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to what you're being told. Pay attention to what you're saying. Pay attention to how you're reacting to situations. Pay attention to life. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. And then we tend to say we can multitask. It's not that possible. We think we can. But when we are focusing, even if for a split second on another thing, then the other thing is not getting the attention that it requires. Take regular breaks. Take regular breaks because they are important. They give you a time to really now relax. Yes. From whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah. You try to relax. Take regular breaks, okay? And then that will keep you on a narrow focus of the thing that you want to pay attention to. For example, if you're taking a cup of tea break, then you can be able to pay attention to how you're making that cup of tea and how it's tasting as it's going down. Alternatively, if you are like me and you're not paying attention to the cup of tea, you may end up taking too much tea with too much sugar, with too much milk at the end of the day. Then when I look at my waistline, when I look at my chubby cheeks, and I'm thinking, Esther, how many cups of teas have you taken today? Why? Because during that particular little break, I didn't pay attention to what I am doing. So taking breaks may help you to come away from that thing that is occupying your mind so much, and you can be able to think more clearly and more decisively. It can help you to think more clearly and more decisively. So minimize your daily input in like excessive checking your phone. I'm a culprit of that. Yeah, we like to check our notifications every now and then. So minimize the daily input in excessively checking your phone or checking your emails or checking your clutter in the mind, yeah, checking the things that you're thinking about. So just minimize how many times you're going back to that task that you're going back to. So minimizing your daily input, like excessive Facebook, excessive WhatsApp, excessive email checking, and even excessive gossiping with your friends. Anything that is taking your time that doesn't add value to you, minimize that. All these things, as we minimize them, they reduce the clutter in our mind. They reduce the amount of accumulation that we are putting in our minds that are not necessary, that are taking away our energy. We don't need that. Okay, so I've spoken about 3 points. Number one, I said make sure. What did I say? No. Number one, I said put everything in the wider perspective. Number two, I said make short deadlines. And number three, I say stop setting your day up for failure. And I've given you quite a number of things that can cause the day to fail. Those things that you say against yourself, against the day, against others, you're setting the day to fail because they are like self-fulfilling prophecies. Those things that are good tones of the day, setting a good tone for the day that you don't do, right? Then it means that you're going to fail. So if you don't exercise, it means you won't feel so relaxed and so set for the day. If you allow things to occupy your mind that are not necessary, that are not adding value to you, then they will take part of the day from you. They will consume your hours. They will consume your precious day, and you wouldn't have enough time to do what really, really matters. Like I said in point number 1. Point number 4. We are moving on. Point number 4. Become a person of action. Yeah, and I said I'm talking to you in as much as I'm talking to myself. Become a person of action. Don't just think things and yes, hear words and then you think things are going to happen by themselves. Become a person of action by taking small bite-sized steps and only getting one thing done, a task at a time. Yes, that's a good habit to keep into practice. Doing bits by bits. If you want to learn something, don't just sit down one day and think you can consume everything in learning within one day. No. Learn bits by bits, taking small bites, bite size. And then once you take those bite size, make it a habit. Yes. If it's something that is interesting, you pay more attention to it. One of the things I've discovered about myself is that if something doesn't interest me, I fall asleep. Yeah, talking to you, Kenya Diaspora Media family, it's something that keeps me awake like this because I love it and it's because I care about you. So if you find something that you're falling asleep, except in church, because the devil could be playing tricks with you, he doesn't want you to hear the word of God. If it's something that interests you and keeps you awake and alert, then that's where your passion is. Yes, you need to be able to do that thing that is bringing happiness and joy. Remember, when I started the discussion, I say it's good to be rejoicing and be glad in the day, and you can do many things that can bring rejoicing and gladness in your day. And one of the things is to do the passion that is in your life. That's the way you serve a purpose in your life. So number 4, I had said become a person of action by taking small bite-sized steps and getting one task done, one at a time, the things that matter the most, like we had said in point number 1. It works well because you don't feel overwhelmed and wanting to turn to procrastination, so you don't delay things if you take things one at a time and do those things, and particularly those passionate things that you want to do. I hope you're keeping with me as we continue. I hope you're keeping with me, and I want to be able to play one more song, just a snippet of it, and therefore after we do that, we can be able to continue with a couple more points if you would like me to continue on those. Here is our own Jeremy Damaris again.
Amone mathirete aria gina umakoja indi wendo waku Ngai uturaga umenyereire niguo ndikananirwo ni migwi miuru ya ngoma ndukareke Ngai ganirwo niwe moyo wananyonia indi muoyo ndukareke Ngai ganirwo niwe moyo wananyonia indi muoyo wariwa. Kuria nyumite gutiro ngehotire kuruta ngoro eno yakwa hatakaine ya mathina tiganiwe waingiriire ndukareke Ngai ganirwo niwe moyo wananyonia indi muoyo ndukareke Ngai ganirwo niwe moyo wananyonia indi muoyo wariwa. Chigane utule udathimite ndathimira nyumba yakwa wira wa moko makwa maundu makwa mothe ndukareke ngaconoka ndukareke Ngai ganirwo niwe moyo wananyonia indi muoyo wariwa ndukareke Ngai ganirwo niwe moyo wananyonia indi muoyo wariwa.
Asante sana Jeremy Damaris, our CEO. Asante sana kwa wimbo mtamu sana. Thank you so much for that beautiful song, Jeremy Damaris. Thank you so much. So today we are talking about overthinking. Those are the title, or rather that's the title that I concentrated on among the 3 things that I started with this morning. I said this is a program that it says good morning Kenya Diaspora Media, and you are the Kenya Diaspora Media. Without you, I wouldn't be sitting here to talk to you. And I was thinking this topic of overthinking is a good one, and that's why I started with this particular topic. And I've already spoken about 4 points so far. I repeat them because some of the people are joining in halfway through, so they need to be able to understand what it is that we are talking about. One of the points was putting everything into a wider perspective. That thing that you're thinking about, you're putting into a wider perspective. Will it matter in 5 months, 5 years, 5 days, 5 minutes? Yeah, trying to focus your energy on what matters the most, and then making short deadlines about decisions. There are those decisions that you can take 30 seconds. There are those decisions that you can take 30 minutes. Don't wait for another day to make an important decision. And then stop setting up your day for failure. People do have self-fulfilling prophecies. They set themselves for failure because of the things they say, the things they think, and of course the things they tell other people. And number 4, I had said, become a person of action. All these points are somehow connected in a way, because point number 1 was saying focusing to the things that matter, and when they matter, then you need to be able to act upon those things. So number 5, realize you can't control everything. Sometimes we think we can control everything. One of the things we work hard at, and it's a gift of the Holy Spirit, is self-control. And it's so hard to self-control ourselves. It is a gift. If you have it, thank God for it. Thank God for it. Some of us are still working hard on that. Yeah, and when I say self-control, there are those habits you want to stop, but you're not able to stop. The overeating. Okay. The overindulging in other things. Yes, going out so much, drinking, addictive behaviors. All right, oversleeping, overdoing good things. You can be overdoing bad things and overdoing good things. Even food is a good thing, but if you overdo it when you don't have self-control, then that's can be challenging. So if you have the gift of the Holy Spirit, be thankful. The gift of the Holy Spirit of self-control. But realize that even controlling ourselves is a hard task. So, and we are not able to control other people's behaviors, but we can be able to control how we respond, how we react, how we do things as per ourselves. And in the process of doing that, we are able to elicit either good behavior from other people. So realize that you're not able to control everything. So thinking things through 50 times, 100 times, 20 times, 5 times can be your way of trying to control things, but it doesn't work, because that's just thinking. You've not made a decision, and once you've made a decision, you've not acted upon it. So you need, like we said in the previous point, make a decision and act upon it. But thinking about something 50 times or even talking about it 50 times doesn't necessarily resolve that problem. So being fearful of making a mistake or failing is the other aspect that kind of we think we can be able to control everything, so we become fearful of not either failing. As you make the decisions, as you act upon a decision, you can succeed or you can fail, but it doesn't matter. When you fail, this John Maxwell says, you fail forwards. It's a lesson, it's a step where you learn and then you move forward rather than sitting there. Even when you watch children, they're very good examples. When they fall down, when you're watching them, if they see that you're looking and you can be able to tell, oh, sorry about, then they can cry or they can become sorrowful because they want you to sweet talk them. But when they're on their own, when they fall, they stand up very quickly and keep on moving. Just watch a child that is learning how to stand and to take the first steps. Yes, they fall down, they don't cry over it, they move forward, they keep on moving until they are able to walk. So don't be afraid of failing. Move forward. Yeah, in the process of moving forward, the good things will succeed. The areas that you are supposed to succeed will succeed. But for the things that are supposed to fail, they will fail. But then I'm saying fail forward and keep on moving. So, but those two things are a part of living life, failing and succeeding. They're part, taking risks is part of life. Yeah. And it stretches to comfort. It stretches our comfort zones. Yeah. Sometimes we are comfortable not to fail. And some people are even afraid of success. They're afraid of success. They don't want to succeed because they don't want what to do with the success. Yes. Setbacks are valuable to learn from and invaluable for personal growth. Yes, when you go through these setbacks and when you go through successes, it's part of growing your person, right? Okay. There's one more point I'm going to speak about before I call it a day. Yeah, I'll speak about one more point, then I will recap what we started at the beginning, and then we'll call it a day. So, the last point for today, how to stop overthinking. Say stop if you can't think straight. You can speak to yourself. Many times I've said there is someone in our head that speaks to us. And if you follow my framework of the spices of life, you will know there is the spiritual person, there is the physical person. I tend to say, okay, the psychologists say the conscious and the unconscious or subconscious. So we have another person we speak to there in our minds, the very person that is making you overthink. So you can talk to that person and you tell them, yeah, stop. Yeah, when you settle down to sleep and the negative thoughts start to buzz, you can say, no, 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 no. I'm not thinking about this now. I'll do it tomorrow. If it can wait till tomorrow, and it can wait till tomorrow because it's sleeping time, you need to focus on the things that matter that particular moment. At that particular moment, what matters is sleep. So speak to your mind and tell you, no, 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 no. Yes, the other thing you can help in speaking to your mind and telling it no by action is having a notepad by your bedside and write that particular thing that you want to start overthinking about. Write it down. Once you've written it down, it's done. So it can wait until tomorrow, and then you pick up your sleep, and that is the thing that matters the most at that particular time. And even during the day, if it's something that is nagging you all the time, yeah, you can write it down and leave it aside and focus on what really needs to be done at that particular time. These are the things you can come back to if, like point number 1, we said, if it will matter in the period of time that you have set it for. Then if it's a short period of time, then it matters. Then you can go back to it and bring it back into action. Okay. So the writer of this note, who is my friend Marie, says this: I find listening to audiobooks like novels or even the Bible help me to relax and to drop off. The same with me. I do that. When I want to go to sleep very quickly, I just put something, not the ones that go boom, 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 boom. No, 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 no. I put something that is mellow, an audiobook that is nice and quiet and somebody's reading to me. Alternatively, I put in the book of Psalms and it goes, yes. And that one, it doesn't take me long before I fall asleep. So you can be able to drop off sleeping, that is, by listening to something audiobook. Don't go to the ones that are telling you stand up and dance. No, go for the ones that are telling you now, Esther, it's time to go to sleep. So in the morning after you've slept and you're feeling refreshed, tongue, speak, refreshed. When you're feeling fresh and refreshed in the morning, you have slept, you can look at your notebook, you can look at what you wrote yesterday, and if it's worth thinking about, if it's worth making a decision about, if it's worth acting upon, then you need to do those. Yeah, think a little bit about it, decide, and then act upon it. Just act upon it if it needs to be acted upon immediately, right? And then you will find sometimes the issue that you were worried about yesterday, sometimes it's a non-existent. 80% of the time, it may not be even necessary. What you're worried and thinking about, it may not be really necessary. For example, it could be something you're thinking about. I should have gone to that shop and checked whether they still sell that product. Now, when you're going to sleep, you cannot go back to that shop and to check whether they're selling that product. So in the morning, you can take that action to actually go to that shop and check whether they're selling that product. Or you can pick your phone and call them and ask them whether they're selling that product. Alternatively, you may not be even needing that particular product because priorities may have changed. Yes, you would have slept and you would have been refreshed. But if you had allowed that thing to nag your mind, you would have been thinking and thinking about it, and it wouldn't have helped you at all. So write those notes and look at them in the morning. Just a quick recap, and then I will be calling it a day unless you want me to continue. Just a quick recap in a moment, and then we will be able to, yes, call it a day. But before we do that, I still love to listen to Jeremy Damaris with his beautiful songs just before I recap.
wanahonia dikariganero wegai muhonania doigane wega doigane thank you ne maria mothe gai otekeire doigane wega doigane thank you.
Thank you so much, Teresa Minor, for joining in. You're saying you're tuning in from Birmingham, and we've been looking at how to stop overthinking. How to stop overthinking. I hope I haven't been overthinking today as I was talking to you. And one of the things I'm going to do now is a quick recap. These notes I'm talking about, these ideas I'm talking about, they will help you and they will help Esther. My name is Esther from Leicester, and this is Spices of Life on Kenya Diaspora Media, and the whole program is Good Morning KDM Family. I'm trying to help us to have a wonderful day. I started by saying, right at the very beginning, there were 3 key points that I wanted to mention to you, 3 key points that I wanted to mention you on this Good Morning Kenya Diaspora Media Family. Remember, this is a new page. We have opened a new leaf, and this thing you have heard before, you have heard from many people before. So mine is just to kind of stress, because people are becoming more stressed with time. So remember, we've opened a new leaf today, a new page. No, that page is not necessarily blank because it has the promises of God in it. It has promises of God in it, but it has blank spaces that you and I need to fill in and say, I am a blessed child of God. This is something I'm thankful about, because God is faithful. So taking on the promises of God, I don't know what promises of God you have read about. Yes, I don't know. So what I'm going to say to you is that you need to be able to go back to the promises of God upon your life. And once you know those promises of God upon your life, and if you know about the goals of lives that you have, if you know your purpose, then you can be able to start that page day by day. Yes, taking one day at a time. That's where I started. And one of the themes or the aims is to rejoice and be glad in each day, regardless of the circumstances. You could be going through a difficult time, but what I'm saying is, during that difficult time, you can look back, you can reflect back at the promises. You can also look back at the blessings upon your life, because there are many blessings upon your life. Count your blessing. Even waking up today and listening to Esther with your working ear, with your eyes looking at me, those are blessings. If you can be able to chew food in your mouth and eat it and it's digested, it's a blessing. Count your blessings. There will be many. So be glad and rejoice and be thankful for each new day. Count as many blessings as you can, particularly those moments when you feel like, yes, life is going downhill. Yeah, count your blessing. And then I was saying, one of the main topic I wanted to focus on, which I had started on the YouTube channel, is to say, stop overthinking. And I'm talking to you and I'm talking to myself. And today we have looked at a number of points. I said, put everything into the perspective. This thing that you are overthinking about, this thing, put it in a wider perspective. Does it matter in 5 years, 5 months, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 minutes? Then if it doesn't matter in the long run, then you need to be able to try and move on to point number 2. Try to focus your time and energy on something that does actually matter. My joy matters. Each moment, if I can remain joyful every moment, then that really matters to me. If I can have a clear mind every moment, then that matters to me. I don't know what matters to you. I don't know what really, really matters to you. So number 2, I looked at making a short deadline for decisions. For example, you can have 30 seconds for the quick things of the physical world. You can decide whether I want to wash the pots or not, whether I want to clean the house or not, whether I want to have a shower or not. You can think about that within 30 seconds. But for other things that may need a longer time to decide, 30 minutes is enough. Don't sit down for 5 hours all day thinking about the very one thing that you're thinking about. So try to make your decisions, the deadlines to be very short. And then number 3, I said, stop setting your day for a failure. So stop talking negatively about your life, about other people, about situations. Take life positively, face it positively, do things positively in your life. So approach life with a positive mindset. And there are so many things that you can be able to do also to put you in the positivity of this life, including exercises, including having your meals properly, a balanced diet, including listening to something that is uplifting, including having friends around who can uplift you, including also listening to Esther here, encouraging you, just listening to something, and then reducing. Every time we are looking at our notification in our social media and everything, you can reduce that a little bit because it might help. Then I said about becoming a person of action. Yeah, take bite-sized steps and getting that particular thing that matter. Get it done, and make it a habit of doing bits by bits, because if you leave them too long, then you can either be overwhelmed by those situations. So do bits by bits, bite size, and then realize that you cannot control everything. It's so hard even to control self. Who makes you think that you can be able to control other people, to control other situations? Like now in Kenya, we are having elections very soon. So can we be able to control the situation? No, we will wait until Tuesday. That is on the 9th of August, and then the voting will be done and the results will come out depending on how you voted or how someone else voted. Whoever will be elected that particular day, because we will have a president by the end of the day or the end of the week, we will have another person sitting in that position. I will continue with my everyday life. You will continue with your everyday. So don't overthink about it. Don't overfret about it. It's not for you to control. And the last point for today, I've not exhausted all the points, but the last point for today, I said you can stop. If you can't think straight, you can say no. So if you're not able to think straight about something, or if something is nagging you as you go to bed, you can be able to say no. But how do you say no? Just say no with the word of the mouth is not enough, because you will find this thing nagging you. So you can take a notepad, write it down if you're going to bed, and say this thing can wait until tomorrow. You could be just thinking about some shopping that you haven't done. That shopping can be done tomorrow. Just write shopping on your side notebook, and then you can look at that the next day. Otherwise, you can also listen to some audiobook. You can listen to something that helps you to sleep. Yeah, in the past, I've also listened to lullabies. I listen to the book of Psalms, the Bible. I can listen to any other type of audiobook, and it helps me to knock off my head to sleep. I love my sleep, and I make sure I sleep at least 7 hours. When I've slept really small or less is 6 hours. I love my sleep, and I'm working also on the balanced diet. It's been a wonderful day to have with you. Good morning, Kenya Diaspora Media. My name is Esther from Leicester. Hopefully you have enjoyed to be in my company, just like I've enjoyed to be in your company. It's a new program, so I didn't really tell many people that I was doing it. It's because one of the things I'm doing is learning along the way, and I've really managed to get to the platform, and you have been there with me. Just before I leave, I just want to recognize those people who joined with me today from the beginning, those who joined me. If I skip your name, it's not because I would like to. Sometimes the notifications go into hiding. So Lillian Wangoi, you had said you are tuned in from Kiambu. Asante sana. You can catch up with the parts that you may have missed. Shiro Moiro, you had said you prefer English earlier on. And then Teresa Minor, you joined me later on. And some of the comments have been hiding. But in all, thank you so much for joining me, because without you, I won't be. So asante sana for your comments. Asante sana for the shares. Asante sana. And hopefully we can be able to be joining in together another day, another time. Asante sana. So for some reason, my comments don't want to refresh, but I'm going to try and see whether they'll be here. And so that I can be able to see if I can be able to read some of those. Otherwise, nashukuru sana, asante sana kwa sababu ya kuungana nami. I am kind of looking at some of the comments that you have written here, and looks like they don't want to refresh. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining in. My name is Esther from Leicester. I will play one more song from Jeremy Damaris, and then we call it a day. Until next time, nakupenda sana, and that's why I'm doing this program. Thank you so much. So one more song from Jeremy Damaris as we call it a day. Karibu sana. Okay, sometimes the mitambos, they play games with me, but I will make sure they kind of obey me. So let's see how we can be able to play this last song. And come on, stay there, and then yes, and then we can be able to call it a day. Karibu sana mahali popote unaposikiliza. Jina langu ni Esther from
Remulato yokinyete muthia ategai ndariganĩirwo nĩwe nĩwe anyitĩte kiugo gĩaku kĩa mũico nĩarĩ hinya Mũrungu nĩarĩ hinya no ahote gũkũgarũrĩra mothe marĩa wonete mana kĩrĩma kũgarũrĩre wĩtagwo mũrathime marĩtwa maingĩ tondũ ũrĩa wanayũrania na thĩna angĩ makoiga ti we ndũkoimĩra Ngai anjĩrĩte kwĩre wĩ mũrathime hinya Mũrungu nĩarĩ hinya no ahote gũkũgarũrĩra mothe marĩa wonete mana kĩrĩma kũgarũrĩre wĩtagwo mũrathime kurira ni kwa mukwa ti tondu nduri mwana he mugambo roiga tige kurira Ngai wahana riu ni akwerekeire hinya Mũrungu nĩarĩ hinya no ahote gũkũgarũrĩra mothe marĩa wonete mana kĩrĩma kũgarũrĩre wĩtagwo mũrathime oire wageria ĩgaturura he mũgambo mũceke ũranĩrĩra ũkoiga rĩu nĩ ihinda rĩa mĩaramano nĩarĩ hinya Mũrungu nĩarĩ hinya no ahote gũkũgarũrĩra mothe marĩa wonete mana kĩrĩma kũgarũrĩre wĩtagwo mũrathime Jabezu kuririkana kwa Moridekai nikionereria ati Ngai nĩarĩ hinya wa kũgarũrania andũ amĩtũtheri nĩarĩ hinya Mũrungu nĩarĩ hinya no ahote gũkũgarũrĩra mothe marĩa wonete mana kĩrĩma kũgarũrĩre wĩtagwo mũrathime
Asante sana, asante sana. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you. Until next time. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so, so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. Until next time, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.